It's Bethany Beasley, and I'm doing the abdominal aorta video submission assessment. Okay, so I have my daughter's stuffed rolly toy here. I drew it out where your midline is so that you can see it on here, because you're going to be taking measurements at proximal, mid, distal, and then at your iliac artery bifurcation down here. So if you can see that, I tried to draw in the rib cage. So you're going to be underneath the rib cage for this proximal segment. Indicator is this notch here on the simulator probe, and you're going to be having your patient lay in supine position, and this is going to be your long indicator at 12 o'clock, short indicator at 9 o'clock, or thumb side. You're going to take measurements throughout here, and in long and short, and then Doppler in a few places. So we're going to start up here at the proximal aorta, just left of the midline. The aorta is going to run slightly to the patient's left. The IVC, if you pan towards the patient's right, is going to be seen in long as well. So you can see that there too. You're going to be just below the diaphragm and next to the celiac. So you're going to be in between there somewhere. Your long image is going to give you the proximal aorta panning across your screen. You're going to take a long image of that, and then a short image of that, and then you're going to take a caliper measurement of anterior to posterior in your short axis, and then you're going to turn back on long, and you're going to do pulse wave Doppler imaging to look at your waveform through this proximal segment. And then you're going to switch back over to short. You're going to pan slightly down, not to mid yet. We're not there. I know this is a short stuffed animal, but we're not at mid just yet. And then in this short axis, you're going to see that celiac trunk that's going to split off into the splenic and hepatic. That'll be seen in short here, and you're going to see it as a whale tail or seagull. So it's going to look like that. And that's going to be just before you get to your midsection. So some people throw color on that just to see the flow through there. You can throw color on it. Then you're going to turn back into long. You're going to slide distal, and then you're going to be at your mid. So here is your mid aorta. You're going to see the SMA branching off of there as well. You're going to take an image in long, and then you're going to switch it over to short. You're going to take an image in short, and then you're going to measure it A to P, and then you're going to come back to long, slide on down. Then you're going to find your distal. You're still going to see your SMA when you're in your distal, but it's going to be much farther down the road. So then you're going to be down here by your distal. This is all opposite, so I'm going to kind of go in the wrong direction. So you're at long here, and you're at distal. You're going to take long. Then you're going to do short. You're going to do your caliper measurements for your short axis from anterior to posterior. Switch it back up to long. Then you're going to put your pulse wave through there, and you're going to look at your waveform, which is going to be a little more like your lower extremity exams. That's what your waveform is going to look like now that you're farther down this way. Switch it back over, slide it distal, and then if you were to turn long on this, you may be able to see both of the iliac arteries, and this will be kind of near the belly button. That's what I did here. This is his little belly button. So when you're down here, you're going to look at your left and right renal arteries. You can see them in short. They're going to look just like this picture drawn here. They're going to be shooting off from this middle part of your aorta, right through the middle. Notice how this one comes through the top of the aorta. This one comes through the middle. So this will be your left and your right renal arteries. So you're going to take an image of that. And if you can get that in your long, you may be able to see both. And then you're going to run pulse wave through each one of those individually if you have to. So then after you get all of those measurements, you are going to slide back up to your distal, and then you're going to make sure that you have a good image of that bifurcation, because that's where your distal is right before that bifurcation. So you got your distal and your long and your short, and then make sure that you go down just below that, and you're going to see that bifurcation and then you're going to see it into 2 separate renal arteries down here. And then that is your abdominal aorta protocol.